In this video, we'll discuss the differences between web and UI UX design. Now, just before we get started, I have a big announcement to make. And that is finally my Get Started UI UX design course is now available. And guys, I've been working on this course so much. It's been over 8 months of work and now it's finally available. So feel free to check it out in the link in the description. But now let's go back to the video. So over the past 8 years, I worked on a bunch of web design projects and also UI UX design projects. And I'm going to share my personal experience. So for the most part, it's going to be self-explanatory. Web designers usually focus on websites, while UI UX designers usually focus on apps. So for example, this could be a web app such as the online banking that you personally have, or a app for your mobile phone, being iOS or Android. So this might be the initial difference, which sounds more obvious, but it goes a little bit deeper than that. Now, when you're working on websites or UI UX design projects, the main goal is going to be similar, and it's actually the same problem-solving skills which you're going to be using, because any website or app that you're creating is actually going to be there for a specific reason. And the client might have some things that he wants to communicate or some goals that he wants to achieve, such as actions that the user needs to take in that app in order to evaluate the success of that app or website. So I would say that the problem solving skills are going to be the same, but from a practical standpoint, there's going to be some differences. Now, for example, when I'm working on websites, I'm going to be really concerned with the overall experience from desktop to tablet to the mobile version. But sometimes when you're working on web apps for maybe a major company which has clients that only use desktop, we want to really be working on mobile versions or the tablet versions. However, in other cases, you will, especially if you're working on more B2C type of companies. But I would say that the major difference is that when you're working on UI UX design projects, those are usually going to be more complex projects on average, meaning that the amount of interactions that there's going to be inside each and every web app or mobile app, there's going to be more complexity and more UX interactions. While on websites, for the very most part, it's all about communicating a specific concept and then creating that call to action in order to make the user subscribe, purchase, or convert. But again, these are very broad topics, so it kind of goes on a case-by-case scenario. Now, another thing to consider if you're actually looking to either get into web design as a career or UI UX design as a career is that usually if you're going with the web design route, you're likely going to be more involved with coding, while with web apps or UI UX design in general, in my personal experience, I've been more detached from coding and just focused on the user experience in and of itself. And the reason being is that on average, both the coding languages of UI UX design are a little bit more complex when it comes to web apps. So you want to detach from that since it's going to be less easy than just pure HTML and CSS and JavaScript for basic web designs. And I'm just purely speaking about the aesthetics, of course. But overall, in my experience, when it comes to UI UX design, usually the average project, there's going to be more interactions and more complexity when it comes to those regards. And sometimes user flows can be crucial to make or break an app. So it's really important to consider the entire experience as a whole, while websites usually have a primary goal, and that would just be communicating a series of concepts and then having a call to action. Now, this slightly changed when it comes to e-commerce, but I haven't really worked on e-commerce projects quite a lot. So usually my average web design project would be a website of a company, just showcasing the company, its services, and essentially having that call to action at the end to accomplish the goal of that very website. So I hope this video was useful. I know it's a very broad topic, so I understand that there aren't clear definitions and clear walls between one and the other. But to sum it all up, I think that both UI UX design and web design share the same skill sets as the base. And then there's just going to be two different specialization based on the type of work and projects that you're going to work with. So this is it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it. And if you liked it, please leave a thumbs up, as this motivates me to create more free content for you guys. And on my YouTube channel, I have over 300 videos on UI UX design and web design. So feel free to check it out. Basically over there, I'm sharing my over 8 years of experience working as a designer. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this video, and I'll catch you in the next one.